Sometimes what's posted is absolutely intentional. That's when you get the emotional harm. Cyberbullying, hateful posting, which happens in a lot of different forms. There's everything from hateful insults, spreading rumors, excluding people, like posting something and making sure somebody's being left out so they know that they're being left out. Outing someone, you have secrets about them, then you share that. Masquerading, rating, and roasting. We have to understand when it comes to posting hateful things online, the biggest danger is also the reason why it's so easy. We understand that, yeah, you're protected through the screen. You don't have to worry about anybody jumping you or anything like that, getting punched through the screen. We understand that you have access. You can do 24/7 from anywhere at any time. We also understand that you can do it completely anonymously. But the biggest danger is that you don't actually see the hurt. If you're in an argument with somebody, there's always a line, right? Sometimes we cross that line. How do you know? It's not because that person's like, hey, you crossed that line. No, it's because you get to see the reaction of the person. You say something, you cross that line, you get to see their reaction. Whether it's their face, maybe they're crying, read their body language, hear their tone, and you can adjust. Online, you don't get that. That's why it's so dangerous, but also why it's so easy, because you don't have to feel that empathy. You don't have to feel the consequences of your words. And we need to be able to teach. Can you help me out? Come on up. Can you help me out? Come on up. To teach a very simple lesson, you can stand right there for me. You can stand right there for me. Your name?
Julia.
Julia and
Angie.
Angie. All right, Julia, Angie, you can face each other. Nothing bad's going to happen. Don't worry. Somebody's going to have their eyes open. Somebody's going to have their eyes closed. All right. Angie, can you take one step back? Awesome. And with your eyes closed, you can't see anything, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent. The whole idea is really try to open up your other senses. Have you ever heard that before? Take one sense away, the other ones will heighten. That's our goal right now. I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, relax. One more nice deep breath in. Exhale, relax. Pay attention to everything else going on around you. And again, you can't see anything though, right?
Mm-mm. I feel you.
You felt that? Did you feel me tap you on the shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
You can open up your eyes. That's a little weird. You can turn to everybody. You can turn to everybody as well. Because nobody touched you. I did tap you. Where did I tap you? Left shoulder. Where did you feel it? Left shoulder? That's creepy. All right. Have you ever heard the phrase, sticks and stones may break your bones, words will never hurt you? You know that phrase came before the internet? Yeah, it was back when they just had sticks and stones. Nowadays, what we have to remember is in the age of the internet, just because you don't physically touch somebody doesn't mean they're not going to feel it. Ooh, deep meaning behind the magic there. Give them both a nice round of applause. You guys can have a seat for them. We do need to make sure that we're teaching now. You know, it's not sticks and stones may break your bones, words will never hurt you, because when you're using the internet, this stuff is lasting forever. It's to everybody about that person. It's something that they can't escape. They can feel it. So what do you do if you are targeted? If you are targeted, what do you do? Well, there's a few things. If you find that your kid's targeted, how do you spot if they are being targeted? Maybe they're avoiding their phones all of a sudden, or their computer all of a sudden. Maybe they're using it and then they get off and they're really upset. And we have to be aware, as parents, aware that they might be going through something and ask questions there. And even though they might not want to tell you there, be like, hey, I'm always here to listen to you. You know, I'm always here for you. I'm ready to listen to you whenever you're ready to talk. And just kind of leave it open-ended, just letting them know that you're there. What else can we do? If you find them that something's happening, you can screenshot it. How to do that depends on the computer that you have. You can Google it. And then from there, you can report it to whatever social media channel it is. If it's bad, you can report to the school. You can kill with kindness. Has anyone ever heard that before, kill with kindness? All right, honestly, your kids aren't here. How many of you think that does not work? Kill with kindness. All right, so the rest of you think it works? Sometimes. Depends. All right. When I first heard that, I'm like, kill with kindness. How's that supposed to work? Kill with kindness. Dude's punching me in the face. I love you. That's not going to help. That's not what they're talking about, though. This is the best way it was explained to me. You know, we have to understand what bullying is. Bullying is imbalance of power, right? Someone trying to have power over you. How do they get that power? Physical dominance, right? Holding the arm a little stronger. We're looking at that. We understand, okay, you have that, but you don't have to worry about that through a screen. Nobody's punching you through a screen. You're protected. Okay. So if you're online, how do they get that power? It's because you give it to them based on your reaction. Does anybody have any brothers, sisters? You ever try to annoy them? Think back to when I was a kid. Like, I'm not touching you. Stop it. Okay. Like, when you get the reaction, oh, that's the goal. That's what you want. You want that reaction. Once you get that reaction, then you win. You have that power. You know that it's getting to them, and that's what you're seeking. Bullying is the same thing. That person's going into it. They want to get into it with somebody. They want to get that power, so they're going to push. If 5 of you make fun of me right now, most likely people are like, you're bald, because people are very original. What do? How do I respond? Shut up! Now, if I showed you that that's getting to me, I just gave you that power. All right, so what do? You're stupid. Now we're escalating things. That's not the goal. Going that punch for punch, no, that doesn't make sense. Because that's not, the goal isn't to try to do it. And they're ready for that. They want that. No, you have to give them the opposite. You keep that power with kindness. That's why I don't think of it as kill it with kindness. I think about it as keep the power with kindness. And how you do that. You're bald. Yeah, you're totally right. I am. You have a nice head of hair. You can style in all the different ways. That's a nice head of hair. What's he going to say? Thank you? You're stupid. Yeah, that's why I'm in school. Yeah, I got to keep on working hard. You're so smart. Well, see you later. You don't have to believe it. You're ugly. I know, right? Seriously, hopefully I eventually grow into this phase. That awkward stage never ends, right? You're already so hot. Hope you don't peak in high school. Whoop, got to go. Not necessarily that, but the whole idea is basically looking at him like, yep, you got me, you. And that's it. It's almost, that thumbs up is a great thing. You're such a jerk. Thumbs up. You're ugly. Yeah. Because you're not giving in to what they're looking for. And if it is boring, if they just kept on doing a thumbs up, like, yep, you got me, what's going to happen? They're going to be like, I'm going to go find somebody that's going to give me a reaction I want. That's what happens. We also understand there's the bystander. The bystander is the person that actually sees it happening. What do? Well, when it comes to bullying, if you see a bystander, we always say, if you see something, say something. You can step in, you can go run, get help. How about online? Online, we're like, oh, that's so bad. Well, keep on scrolling, glass not happening to me. We need to be able to chime in there, too. And I'm not saying to everything. And I make sure to tell your kids, I'm not saying to everything. I'm not asking you to change the internet. I'm not asking you to change the world. But they do set the tone of what happens here, within this school and within this community. That's on them. I say, if you do see something here, just chime in. And where we often go wrong is that we start attacking the other person that's posting, right? That somebody posts something and then you attack them, they attack you, and now also it's the same thing. You're just getting into an argument, it's giving that person what they want. No, just support the person that's being targeted. Hey, don't even worry about them. Hey, you're awesome. Don't even worry about that. What's happening? I'm not giving that person the attention that they're looking for, and I'm supporting that person. I'm letting them know that this isn't acceptable, and I'm letting you know that you're not alone. That's the goal. That's how the bystander should be able to interact, just by supporting that person that's being targeted.
But do you do it so that the person knows that you're doing it, or you do it like to the side?
I would do it so that person knows that you're doing it, because you're able to send that message. You know, I think it's the difference of somebody walking up and saying like, "Hey, don't worry about them," and leaving, as opposed to something happening and then they leave and then you stepping in, right? They don't get to see that. I think about it this way: like, has anyone ever told a joke and everybody laughs? Makes you feel good. Have it tell a joke and nobody laughs? You shut up and go back in the corner. That's the goal that you're looking for. You want that nobody's laughing reaction where we're just kind of like ignoring what you're saying and just focusing on that other person. Like, hey, we're and giving that support. By doing that, you're not engaging and giving them what they want, and you're also at the same time letting them know that, hey, this isn't acceptable here. Sometimes students will say, well, it's not one of my friends. Why am I going to get involved if I don't actually know the person? I don't even like that person. You don't have to. You just have to understand that whatever you do, you're setting the tone of what's acceptable and what's not. There's an old Greek... There's an old poem came right after World War II called First They Came. If anybody heard it before, but it basically goes, first they came for the socialists. I wasn't a socialist, so I didn't say anything. They came for the unions. I wasn't in union, so I didn't say anything. They came for the Jews. I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't say anything. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to stand up for me. The whole idea is if you are able to step up in that moment, and later on, if that bullying target ever does go to you, there's going to be other people there stepping up for you. It's not about if you like the person or not. It's about setting the tone and setting the culture of what's acceptable and what's not. I don't do this for the younger students, but we also have to understand that you also don't know necessarily what other people are going through, what's happening in their life, going on in their home.
She was, our baby, and, we absolutely miss every single second of her.
This isn't a new issue. It's been going on for a long time. It's still there. Some would argue that it's worse now than it was before. I don't show this for the younger grades. When you're looking at 7th and 8th, I do. Or at least I talk about it. We have to understand, like Megan, weeks away from her 15th birthday. Had a hard time, fitting in, right? I mean, middle school, high school, it's not an easy time. I ask parents all the time, hey, you want to go back to middle school, high school? College? What? You're trying to fit in, figure things out. You have cliques, you have drama. It's not an easy time. She's trying to figure herself out. She doesn't have that many friends. She goes online. She meets this guy, Josh. Finally, someone that she connects with. Over time, becomes her best friend. There's only one problem. Josh isn't real. A neighbor, a girl she grew up with right down the street, and the neighbor's mother created this fake profile trying to find out if she was talking trash about the daughter. They turn around and tell us some hateful things. Oh, you're terrible. I don't want to be your friend. You're not good to your friends. You should go kill yourself. Megan's devastated. This best friend wants nothing to do with her. She has no idea why. She runs downstairs. She's screaming. She's swearing. Her parents were really listening. What I tell the students is that we have to understand, as a parent, sometimes it's hard to decipher between what's a real issue and what's like normal teen drama, because sometimes there can be a lot of it. We have to figure that out. And if you ever do feel like you're not being heard, go grab that face. Listen to me. This is important. Talk to them. Talk to somebody if you ever feel like this, that alone, empty. It was Megan felt that way, lost, empty, alone, went upstairs. She had taken her own life. A permanent solution for a temporary problem. This is happening more and more, and it's happening at a younger and younger age. I was speaking up the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. It was right after there was a 11-year-old boy, 11 years old. He was dating a 13-year-old girl, and these guys thought it would be funny to use social media to message him and convince him that she had taken her own life. And they did. And he was so devastated, he said he was going to do a Romeo and Juliet thing, and nobody stopped him. The age limit when it comes to social media and stuff is 13. A couple of reasons. One, you have the Child Internet Protection Act, which basically says anybody under 13 shouldn't have a digital profile. But two, being able to understand the dangers that are out there, and also being able to understand that just what you see isn't necessarily the realities there. If your child is using it at a younger age before that, you I think kind of need to be right there with them. I mean, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they didn't let their kids have a smartphone until they were 14. Bill Gates' kids, even when they turned 14, they still couldn't get an iPhone, believe it or not. 14, why? Bill Gates said, I've seen the good and I've also seen the bad. And I want them to develop without it before they start using it. We have these dangers, we have the other ones. We have the depression, the anxiety, the amount of screen time, the technology addiction, all that stuff plays a role in there. So I just think, again, being able to make sure that we are able, if they are at a young age, make sure that it's open room policy. You can only use devices in a room. Make sure that you're always there with them. These are the things that we have to think about. I was thinking about the golden rule. You might have heard the golden rule, treat as you want to be treated. I think about the golden rule 2.0, which is to post of others. You want to post about yourself and those that you care about. I think if everybody did that, the internet would be a much safer place.